Here's to all those in the gig economy, the ones that I've been watching for so long. I'd say it's been every bit of a year now. Everybody's complaining about what's wrong with the gig economy. Hey, I get it. I understand it. I know what's wrong with the gig economy. I drive myself. You know, mostly I drive myself crazy, but I enjoy myself. What I don't like is when people say, here's what's wrong with it. Here's why it sucks. Here's why you should get a W-2 job. Here's why you're not making money. Here's what they're doing wrong. They're stealing your tips. They're fucking you up. They're screwing your whole life up. Do something else. I have to remind myself sometimes after watching all these videos that these big gig tubers are doing. Do you remember why you came here to begin with? Do you? Well, if you don't, I'll remind you. And if you do, then you'll probably appreciate what I'm about to say. The reason that we came to the gig economy is because most of us were a part of the, we quit era. We got away from our W-2 jobs because they sucked. They were awful. The bosses that, just started their period or had acne or were 3 feet shorter than we were, or a boss that didn't understand the concept of this is a great employee, but we're not going to give a fuck about him because it doesn't fit the agenda of what I'm doing in the corporate office to make sure I get my money. Fuck the guys on the floor. Nobody cares about them. They're replaceable. Remember those words? Remember those statements that we made? So why is it that I come to the gig economy in the last 2 months and the big giggers that used to bring us here and teach us things and make us learn things, and it was easy to understand, are now saying, I'm done, I quit, I'm fucked, this is bullshit, I'm not making any money. I was like, well, that was the same fucking thing they said on their W-2 job when they first came here and stole your attention to watch those videos that they made and got paid for, by the way. Every time you watch an ad before the video starts, guess what? That guy's getting paid. So do you really think for 1 second that anybody over the age of 5 would believe for 1 fucking second that it's better to believe that the very job that you quit to come do the gig work is better to go back to because these guys that are getting paid to complain are telling you that it's better to go back to the fucking W-2 job, when in fact the biggest reason they're doing that is because they want to clear the fucking road for themselves. That's my opinion. That's what I believe. Because we all know the market is saturated. When it gets saturated, what's the first thing on your mind? I cannot believe how many fucking drivers are in this line. I cannot believe how many drivers I have to compete with on a daily basis to make my bread and butter. That's the reality of it. We all want them out. And yet they keep complaining, but yet they still keep making the videos. They still keep saying, as they're complaining about DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, Spark, whatever it is, as they complain about it, they're sitting in their car with their bags in the back seat, or they're in their apartment saying, this is ridiculous. This is unacceptable. This is pathetic. We can't sustain these gas prices. We can't sustain these weights. But yet they're sitting there fucking doing it, getting you to watch, and you're agreeing with them because there's a reason to. Because that part's real. The part that I can't take anymore is they keep on going on and on about it while they're doing the goddamn job. And as they're doing the goddamn job, what the fuck else are they doing? They're getting paid by the views, because as they're getting paid for you to watch them, they're also knowing that you are, at that point in time of your life, stupid enough not to know that they're getting paid to bitch. So while I go out and drive, nobody's paying me to bitch. But when they go out and drive, they put it up on YouTube, say, oh, there's another glitch on the app. There's none of this. There's none of that. The Tony's an asshole. And they're getting paid by us to complain about the shit that they know that we see every day. My problem with Nugs and More Finance is this. Moore's he's been complaining for months, and yet we're all waiting to see what he does. It was obvious he got deactivated. That's what he does. He gets deactivated. Why? Because he was making money off multi-apping or dirty apping. That's what he was doing. We all saw it. So he says, I quit. I quit. He's like Popeye with the spinach. I quit. And then you got Nugs over there doing music videos. Doing music videos with a DoorDash bag. What did you guys come to YouTube to find out? How to multi-app? How to use DoorDash? How to use Grubhub? How to use these apps? And then we got sidetracked with, well, this is a problem. We have to fix the problem. We listened to that for 2 months. What was the end result? I quit. I got news for you. I've heard both sides of the story. It's a part-time job. It's a full-time job. You can't sustain a full-time unless it's a bridge to a bigger full-time job. Hell, even Pedro said that. I'll be honest with you guys. At the end of the day, you guys talk about hourly wages. There is no such thing as a fucking hourly wage with a gig job. Who the fuck came up with that statement? That's been bugging me since day one. You start at the beginning of the day, you go to the end of the day. If it's 6 hours, 7 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours. What you made at the end of the day, they call that a salary in the W-2 jobs. That's called a salary. It's how much you make at the end of the day. Not how much you made that hour, because if you do that, guess what happens? You're discouraged, you're depressed, you're upset, you get a headache, you want to quit. Because you're listening to these guys tell you, you got to go by mileage, you got to go by hours, you got to go by how much this, that, and the other. It's like, I got news for you. I had a W-2 job 23 fucking years. 23 fucking years. I can easily make the same fucking take home on a gig job that I did at that W-2 job. And I don't have one motherfucking complaint other than the fact that I wish all days were 6 hours instead of 10. Sometimes it takes 10. But I don't see one manager in a McDonald's or any factory quitting because he has to work a 10 or 12 hour day. You fucking signed up for it. Don't complain. But we get to call our own shots. W-2s don't. That wage cage will fuck your mind up. That's why I left. It does fuck your mind up. No matter how hard you work, it's never going to be enough, and you're never going to get extra for it. If we work harder, we go the extra mile, we do get paid for it. And in those days when you break even on them long days, hey, that's not every day, that's that day. And the only you complain to is yourself, and I think that's the problem with these big gig tubers. They don't like taking responsibility for the fact that they fucked up, and they're worried about dash time versus active time. And I'm sorry, I don't even know why we have that discussion. Active time and dash time are two different things for a reason. Because they're two different things. They're two different fucking things. If you're sitting in your car watching TikTok, or if you're in a thrift store like Mushi, buying shit to put on eBay, you are not active. You're on break. You're taking off time. You have paused your app, you're not doing shit, you're eating a hamburger, you're smoking a cigarette, you're listening to the radio. Hell, some of us are even taking naps, from what I've seen. How in the fuck are you supposed to get paid for that? You're not going to get paid for that in a regular job. They catch you sleeping in the bathroom over and over again, you're going to get fucking fired. What's the goddamn difference between active time and dash time? Simple. One of them you're actually working, one of them you're not. So people say, well, I need to get paid because I had 15-minute breaks at work and I got paid for those. It's like, are you seriously going to contend with that story? And explain to me how this works, that if you had a W-2 and you had two 15-minute breaks and a half-hour lunch that you don't get paid for, but you get paid for the two 15s, how much time during your shift on DoorDash do you do squat? Nothing. You walk around and you fucking jack off at goddamn stores and just talk on the phone or whatever the fuck it is you're doing. And you're going to bitch that you had 2 hours out of that day that you didn't get paid for. Who the fuck's going to pay you for that? It's sure that fucking a W-2 job. They give you 30 minutes total, and that's if it's a 10-hour shift. I got news for you. My 10 hours, I'll have 2.5 hours, 3 hours of downtime. I don't count that. Why would anybody count that? I mean, how... Are you seriously that delusional to where you think you're going to get paid for 3 hours of downtime? And if you don't like it, go home. Work from your desk. Leave Dasher on. Let it search for orders. A banger hats? Hit the driveway, but vacuum the floors, make a sandwich, play with your dog, cut the grass. Just leave the phone where you can see it. Bing! Offer comes up. Hit accept, turn the lawnmower off, get back on the road. I'm not that delusional. I don't believe that you should be paid for doing nothing. Orders ain't coming in, do something else. It is not by the hour. I stand by that. It's not by the hour. And sometimes I don't even think it's by the mile. I say it's from the time you start to the time you end. How much money did you make? Are you happy? If you made enough to pay your goal, to pay your bills, you're happy. Because I know this much. You call into a W-2 job at a factory, they're going to tell you to go fuck yourself too many times. That's what it is. We got way too reliant on these big gig tubers telling us all the shit that's wrong with it. And we just want to wrap it up, put a bow on it, and say, you know what, he's right. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's not right. He's been wrong for a long time. Let me tell you why. If you are going to complain about something that you yourself have full control over, then you're the problem. You're complaining about you, not the gig app. Not the gig app. You're complaining about you because you didn't put enough time in, or you didn't understand up front, or you're not accepting it, that this is a per job pay. It'll never be anything different than a per job pay. You had to know that going into it. Like, how do I get paid? You pick up the food, you drop it off. You pick up the TV, you drop it off. So what happens in between? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Dead air. Fucking zip. Zil. Nothing. Nobody gives a fuck. That's it. The more work you do, the more you get paid. The less work you do, the less you get paid. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm a little over these big gig tubers. And I hope one of them sees this, and if they do, great. If they don't, fuck them. Because I'm over it. I will not let my mind get wrapped around their ideology of getting paid for us to watch them complain. You want to complain? Quit the gig community. Go back to a W-2 job and make videos about that. See how many people fucking watch. It's just me. To our bout.